it's Trust again. Hope you're doing well today. I give you my usual weather update before I get started. It's a great day today. You know, I like to give the weather update. Anyway, hope everyone's doing well. I wanted to come on today and deliver on a promise that I made. So on my Facebook page, a few days ago, I made a post asking for any questions people had regarding how to start a budget. And I did get a few questions, which, by the way, if you're not yet following me on Facebook, why not? I will put a link to my Facebook page in the description section below, so you can go follow me on there so that you get a chance to influence what videos that I make, what questions I cover, and things like that. Okay? So yeah, so I put a post on there asking for some questions. So I got a few and some ideas that I wanted to talk about as well. So I've put it together and I'm going to share this information with you today. If I'm looking down, that's why I'm looking down at my notes, because I didn't want to miss anything or forget anything. So I made a few notes so I can look down and make sure I've covered it. Another thing as well to add to that is I'm probably not going to cover everything today. I intend to make another 1 or 2 videos in this series. So if you have any more questions, feel free to send them. Or if there's anything you think that's missing, I'm probably planning to cover it next time. Okay? And the final thing before I launch in is that I wanted to do a bit of a disclaimer. I'm not someone who, has a degree in finance. My background is in the sciences, but I am someone who has been passionate about money over the years and passionate about people having control over their money, feeling in control of it, and having that peace of mind of knowing that everything's going to be taken care of. I am passionate about people having that. And that's where I'm coming at you from the actual experience of having done it and what I have learned along the way, and which is why I've set up the Budget Fairy, which I'll reference later, to support people with that. But I just wanted to mention that as well. Okay, now we've got all that out of the way, let's get started. How to start on a budget. So this is for someone who has either never done a budget before or not quite sure what to do with it. First question I've put down is, why do you need one in the first place? So if you are like most people, like we know about, people who know that they should budget but don't quite get round to it, why do you need one? Well, a budget helps you be aware of what you have coming in and what you have going out. It gives you that mastery of knowing what exactly is going on, either with your bank account or with your wallet, with your finances. A budget is a great tool to help you be very aware of that and to be in control of that. And, it's amazing. Everybody needs one. And leading on to how does it feel to have one? Well, I can tell you from personal experience, it's amazing to know that everything is accounted for, everything is planned for, you don't have surprises at the end of the month. I mean, there are things that happen that are surprises, but we know that surprises do come up. And when you have a budget, you can plan for them, and it feels amazing to know that that is going to be covered. So I guess my point is, you need one. And it feels amazing to have one. Okay, where do you start? So if you've never done one before, or you've not quite done it right in the past, this is my advice on how to start one. Excuse me. First of all, what you want to do is gather information. Gather information about what exactly is going on. So how would you do that? If you have a bank account, which I think most of us do, you need to gather your bank statements. Bank statements to cover the last 3 to 6 months. I recommend 6 because then you get a really good picture of what's been happening, especially if you have some payments that come out, maybe quarterly and things like that. If you have a good length of time covered in the bank statements, then you're more likely to see those. So bank statements. Also, if you have receipts, so if you have been probably paying with cash for some things, then you probably need to keep the receipts to add to that wealth of information that you're gathering to know, what you have been spending on. I know a lot of us do ATM collections and then we spend it in cash and it's hard to track them. Start tracking them. Track them. Just gather that information. At this point, you're not trying to change anything about your behavior or anything like that. You're simply just gathering information to see what is the current state of things. Once you've got that information together for 3 to 6 months, the next thing I would advise is start isolating what are the things that are the musts. Again, at this time, you're not trying to change anything just yet. You're just gathering information. So what are those the necessities that you're paying for? So I have a list of things here that I think essentials. You do need to pay for them, otherwise you will feel the consequences. So I have things like accommodation, so whether that be rent or a mortgage, if you have one, what is the cost of that? If you have a mortgage or things like that involve having an insurance, factor that in as well. And then onto the utilities, so things like water, gas and electric. If you have families, I think I probably work more with people with families because they tend to be, I guess we're all busy, but they can be quite busy as well for them with kids and things like that. So you do need to have gas and electric on for them. So gas and electric, water. If you're in the UK like myself, you have tax called the council tax that needs to be paid as well. I think there are consequences for not paying that too. If you work outside the house, transport for work, that would be something I would class as a must-have as well. If you work within the home or do a job that requires internet connection, I will class that as a must-have. I'm saying if you use the internet for work, because we're down to the things that are absolutely important. So broadband connection for work, and then on to food. I am talking about food, groceries that you buy and make at home. I'm not talking about going out at this point because remember, we're talking about things that are absolutely important. You need to eat, but not necessarily eating out at a restaurant. So that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about basic food that you need to eat at home. Everybody needs to do that. If you have debt or credit cards, the minimum payments that need to be made, I would class that as well as something that must be paid. So what I would advise you to do at this point is to isolate those. Isolate those payments, either highlight them or transfer them onto a different document, but get clear on what those things are that are absolutely must have, i.e. if you don't do them, there will be real consequences either to health or being alive, basically, sort of thing. So isolate those, get clear on what those are, and see what the total of those comes out to. That will be the first step, gathering all of that information. And those were the 2 starts that I wanted to talk about today. As you can imagine, there are other things that would need to happen further down the line before you get to a point where you get to a budget that is working for you and is serving you. All right. So I think those were the main things that I wanted to start on today. Like I said, I'm going to be making 1 or 2 more videos in this series to pick it up from here and talk about what you would do next once you've gathered this information. Now, if this sounds like a lot to get through, or you're thinking, oh my goodness, where am I going to find the time to do all of this? Fear not. This is where the budget fairy comes in. this is a service that I offer to people who are who know that they should budget but are too busy, or for some reason don't quite get around to it, but know that it will make a huge difference to their lives if they're able to get around to it. This is something that my service can support you with. I will put a link to my website below where you can find out more about how we help and what services we offer to help with this. You can have a consultation to start with, where we can assess where you are, what sort of help you need, and work with you to pull this information all together, and then we can sort of go from there. So if you can do it yourself, absolutely fantastic. I'm glad if this information helps you to do it. I'm really happy with that. Let me know in the comments below. Give the video a like. If you think there's anything as well that I've missed out in terms of the essentials, what you would class as essentials, put it below as well, because I know we all have different circumstances. There are things that are unique for each person that would be absolutely essential. So put it below if I've missed it there. Okay, so that was what I want to talk about today. Hope you have a good rest of the day, whatever the time is where you're at. I'm just looking at my light over there, and I think the sun's coming out. So I'm going to go enjoy it now, and I will talk to you soon. So look out for the next video next week. Next week, I'll put it on. I'll put it on my Facebook page when it's going to be. All right, take care. Bye.